as the DUP leadership returns after its seismic climb down to implement the union dismantling protocol. Despite all the fake news, despite all those attempts to spin defeat as victory, this is a climb down of monumental proportions. It's quite clear in this way. Not one word of the protocol has changed. Not one word. Northern Ireland still remains under the EU's customs code, which decrees GB to be a foreign country, and that is itself of momentous constitutional significance. We continue to be ruled in significant part by foreign laws, Annex 2 of the protocol. All 287 of those EU laws remain in place in perpetuity beyond the reach of the Stormont break, and therefore, of course, under the supervision of the European Court of Justice. We are still under we still have an Irish Sea border. If the Irish Sea border was gone, then we would be dismantling, not continuing to build border posts. And yet millions of pounds are being spent in that pursuit. And under EU legislation, Northern Ireland is still determined to be EU territory. None of that has changed. And Article 6, despite the weasel attempts in the Donaldson deal to diminish its importance, is still in suspension, and with it, one of the twin pillars of this union. Northern Ireland's place is not restored within the United Kingdom. We are still constitutionally a condominium, ruled in part by UK laws and in part by foreign laws that we don't make. And all that with a partitioning border down the Irish Sea. Little wonder Sam McBride this morning in the Telegraph describes this deal as the Windsor framework in drag. And that's exactly what it is. And since it wasn't good enough, since the Windsor framework wasn't good enough to cause the DUP to come back and vote in a speaker, nor is this deal to now roll over and become protocol implementers is beyond comprehension. Now, I accept that there are many in the DUP, and some of them are on these benches today, who are very unhappy with this course of action, who agree with many of the things that I am saying. And I urge them to continue to stand strong. But I do suggest this, that the moment we vote to elect a speaker, that is a vote to proceed to implement the protocol. That is a step should not be taken. Of course, as it turns out, there were lots who opposition to the protocol was all just bluff and bluster. No more than Mr. Putz himself. This is the man who told us there had to be seismic changes to the protocol. Turns out for Mr. Putz, seismic means the promise, not even the delivery, the promise of the reduction of green lane physical checks from 5% to 0. And it's not even in the legislation that was passed last week or this week. So that, for Mr. Putz, is seismic. Wow. To everyone else, it's closer to infinitesimal. So, from Mr. Seismic to Mr. Speaker, oh, the irresistible lure of office for those whose principles are expendable. For Mr. Putz, the speakership is the fruit of the poison tree, and no good can come of it.